Welcome everyone to Session Spotlight. We're excited that you've joined us today. Today we're going to talk with Sandy Cahill, Julie Drogsvold, Donna Foley, Sue Helmken, Christine Miller, Barbara Pickett, and Marcia Weiss. We're hoping that you have checked out the classes that you want to take, and you're going to learn more here today. We have seminars, we have workshops, fashion show, exhibits, tours, and of course, shopping. And remember, it's July the 11th through the 17th this summer. Registration is now open, so you can come in and start choosing your classes. And you also need to make sure that you reserve your hotel room. We've got 150 seminars and workshops, everything from a 90-minute seminar to a 1- and 2- to 3-day workshops. Don't forget the CVP package. It gives you a 25% discount on all your classes. And an HGA membership is required if you're going to take a class, seminar, or workshop. And just a reminder, you want to do that membership first, then you want to buy your CVP, then you want to do your classes. Today, we're going to start with Sandy Cahill. Sandy is going to talk about her 3-hour seminar, which is on Saturday, Sewing Seams for Handwoven Garments. Hey, Sandy.
Hey there. Can you hear me now?
Yes, you sound great.
Thank you so much. Yes, so I'm talking today about the Sewing Seams for Handwoven Garments. And so in your Shuttle Spindle and Die Pot magazine, the class description is listed there. And so this is a Saturday class, and it is Saturday, July 13th in the morning, 9 till noon, a 3-hour class. When we talk about sewing seams for handwoven garments, there are many challenges to how to make sturdy, but yet hidden kind of seams, because you don't want to call notice to a seam and make it be the feature of the garment. You want the garment to be the feature and the seams to disappear. So I have developed a unique technique that is sort of like a flat felled seam, and it's an adapted flat felled seam that makes a lot of sense for handwoven fabric. As you know, many handwoven fabrics pose lots of challenges. That some are very thick, some are very drapey, some are very loose, and that this seam is appropriate for many applications when you're making garments out of your handwoven fabric. So when you come to the class, you will be getting a notebook that you're going to end up taking home. And inside the notebook, we have lots of detailed descriptions and information with very specific directions on how to make this seam. And then as you go through your notebook, you will find inside your notebook a piece of handwoven fabric that I'm giving to you that I'm weaving specifically for this sample. And this sample is handwoven by me. And it also, you will notice that this sample has 6 different red stripes woven into the fabric. You can kind of see it right there. And that is because this is a 5-step seam, and I want you to make the seam in the class. We'll be learning how to do it. And you're going to be making each of the 5 steps as you progress along the sampler. And so your first step, you're going to take from the top down to this last red stripe right here. The second step, you're going to take down to the 4th red stripe, and the 3rd step, and the 2nd step, and then the finished step is the last one. So this seam, I'm going to show it pretty close right here. I would challenge you to exactly find where that seam is, but that's the finished seam, and it's exactly the same on the front as on the back. Many of the garments that I make are double-sided. So I weave a 2-sided fabric, and I want to showcase that reversibility of the garments. So which is why I developed this seam, so that I could have a reversible seam within the garment, and that it would be exactly the same whether you're wearing it on the dark side or on the light side, whether you're wearing the garment on either side. After you're finished in the class with this nice long sampler, you're going to fold it up And then you're going to put it back into your notebook in the sleeve there. And then when you go home, you have this complete notebook that tells you all of the steps. You have the sampler that also walks you through all of those steps so you can recreate that seam when you get home. So with that, are there any questions about this seaming class?
Well, I saw that your prerequisite is that you have to be able to use a sewing machine, correct?
Yes, that is correct. You need to be comfortable using your sewing machine, yes.
But you don't have to really be a super seamstress, do you?
No.
Okay.
This would be a very applicable seaming technique to use for beginning garments as well as more advanced garments. So each person can come into this class at whatever level you are. Yes.
Well, I know one of your other classes is already sold out. Would this be an alternate for them if they can't get into your full workshop?
Absolutely. This is a replication of the same material that's in the full day workshop. In the full day workshop, we do edge finishing and seaming. And then this half day class is the seaming only of that full day class. Okay. So yes, it is a replication of the information. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, this is a good question. People are asking, do you need to bring a sewing machine? And I'm going to field that question, which is, if you can, please bring your sewing machine. Like if you're driving, bring your sewing machine. But we also are going to try to get sewing machines available to everybody who participates. And Sandy, will you have sewing machines or?
I will. I'm bringing 2 different sewing machines as well as 2 different sergers. So with that, we will be able to practice the serging. That's part of the technique. And I'll be showing you on my serger and letting you use my serger. So you don't have to bring a serger, but yes, do bring your sewing machine if you are able.
It's nice to learn on your own equipment, isn't it?
It is. And people are a lot more comfortable on their machine, and I prefer that. If you can learn it on your machine, then you know where those stitches are.
Okay. Somebody's asking how long the class is. Now, this class that you're talking about is a 3-hour class, right?
It is.
Okay.
That is correct. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And one more thing that you do need to bring is bright red thread, like Christmas red. I need to have the stitches show up as a contrast against the sampler fabric, so you can see where your stitches are. So that'd be the only other requirement besides regular sewing notions, scissors, readers if you need them, tape measure, that kind of thing. Yeah. Well,
I'll tell you, the handout you have is well worth the money. That's an amazing handout, and to have the actual cloth there provided by you.
Yeah,
a lot of work into this, Sandy. Thank you.
I do. Yes, yeah, and it's a very exciting seam too. I just love seeing in my students when I teach this class the light bulb go off. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this! How it can be reversible, and it's just a fabulous seam. It really is.
Do you require straight stitch only to perform your seaming technique?
It does require a zigzag or a serpentine stitch. And again, I have that on my machine. If you don't have that on your machine, I'm happy to let you use my machine for that one step.
Okay. Well, Sandy, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And again, a reminder, this is a 3-hour seminar. It's on Saturday, July 13th. Next up, we have Julie Drogsvold. Julie, am I even close? This is cotton spinning made easy. It's a 1-day workshop. It is Saturday, July 13th. Hey, Julie.
Hello, how are you today?
So am I close on your name, Drogsvold?
Perfect.
Oh, good.
Absolutely perfect. Yes.
Take it away.
Thank you. Yes. I'm Julie Drogsvold. My class on Saturday is going to be a 1-day class on cotton spinning. I am a spinner. I love to spin. And for about 10 years, I've been working really closely with Joan Ruane, who is an excellent world-renowned cotton spinner. And I've been very, very lucky to work with her. And so I am going to be bringing my love of cotton and her love of cotton to Convergence. And cotton, I mean, what did I just say with a friend of mine yesterday? We're all first clothing we wear is probably cotton when we're born, and we all have cotton right to the very end of our lives. So this is really, truly an amazing fiber. We are going to be working right from the start. We have a cotton bowl, and we're going to be working with both seed cotton like this and some natural colored cotton, which actually does come in multiple natural colors. We're going to work with some dyed lovely cotton lint. We're going to take these fully natural materials. We're going to work them with our carders, which you will need for class, either a nice pair of cotton carders like this with a really high TPI. Wool carders will work. It just gives us a little bit more of a textured yarn. We're going to take our carders. We're going to take those natural fibers. We're going to make these lovely little ponies, which are fun to make and completely expressive of all our colors. And then we're going to make some really great yarns. These are some examples from some of my most recent classes. I love these. Everybody will leave with some yarn. It is going to take us the day to work through all the different types of cotton that I'm going to be bringing for you. You'll need a wheel. An e-spinner is just fine. You could even use a Tockley or a supported spindle if that is where you feel most comfortable. But you do need to be comfortable with your wheel. We're going to be changing some muscle memory, and we're going to change a little bit about how we're spinning so that you can spin this wonderful fiber that is literally growable everywhere. You can grow cotton inside your home. I mean, what a great thing. But these are some of the natural colored cotton that we're working with. And if you're a weaver like I am, my shelves are always full of natural cotton. And the ponies make a lovely textured cotton, great for tea towels and all sorts of wonderful things. I love cotton. I hope to be able to share with you my love of cotton. Is there anything that I want you to be adventurous? We all get really kind of so comfortable in our spinning lives, and cotton is a wonderful change up. It's not a huge change, but it's so versatile. It's so useful in our journey as fiber artists. So
I understand that cotton is a different animal than wool. It's different how you do it. So this is a good class for somebody who wants to kind of venture into that, right?
Exactly. It's a cellulose fiber, so that changes even how we dye it. And then that cellulose fiber, we're going to use more of a long draw method to spin it. So you're getting two classes in one. We're going to be working with a natural fiber. And if you're not a long draw spinner, you will be by the end of class. And that you can take right into all of your other spinning, whether it be wool or anything else.
And just a heads up on the equipment, if you don't have the carders and you want them, because your class is on Saturday, they can actually purchase the materials in the vendor hall, right? Market.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, there will be a plethora available, and they're absolutely excellent because you want to use these same cotton carders with some of your other luxury fibers like cashmere or Angora or anything that's super fine. That's what these carders are made for. We're just going to be using them for cotton.
And you have a list of materials that people need to bring, right? And that's on our website. You can go there and see all the things that are required. And it looks like it's your basic spinning equipment, right? There's nothing really outstanding or unusual.
Right. You're going to need your wheel. You're going to need some carders. Bring a lazy Kate and some empty bobbins, and we're going to fill those up during class and come and leave class with some plied yarn.
Well, as a Southerner, I think learning how to spin cotton is very important. It's hot down here. Oh, somebody wants to know, if we sign up for your class, can we bring some of our own naturally colored cotton fiber?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And we will go through some different ways of getting your natural cotton ready to spin, including spinning it right from the seed. So you don't have to go through all of that de-seeding of cotton.
Really? Oh, wow. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on here today, Julie. Again, this is a one-day workshop. It's on Saturday, July 13, and it's Cotton Spinning Made Easy. Thank you. Next up, we have Donna Foley. Hey, Donna. Donna's doing natural color, an introduction to natural dyeing. It's a one-day workshop. It is Thursday, July the 11th. Hello, Donna. Take it away.
Hi, Kathy. Hi, everyone. Can you see me okay?
You look great. You look busy. You look busy.
Yes. So Donna Foley for Directions Weaving. I'm celebrating my 40th year of spinning, dyeing, and weaving, I realized this fall. And I've been working that whole time with natural dyes, and I'm still totally fascinated with them. I find them amazing. The range of color, the soulfulness, how they talk to one another and how they talk to me. Just, it informs my whole, I'm a tapestry weaver, and it really is the basis of how I get my tapestries. It all starts with these colors. So I'm really excited about coming to Convergence again and leading a workshop into Introduction to Natural Dyeing. I'll teach 2 classes. So this is the basic one to get you going with. We will start with best practices of the tools you need, how to be safe. We'll go on to mordanting, the things that you need, and once again, best practices, being safe with everything. We'll talk about that. Make sure that when you get going, you feel comfortable. We will be doing a small mordanting pot right there and then, but I will be bringing pre-mordanted small skeins of yarn for us to play with and for you to go home with. A lot of them marked well, so we can be able to track down how you got certain colors. But so the bulk of the class will be jumping into the natural dyes themselves, but we do want to make sure we have a good basis on what it takes to mordant the fibers. Then we'll talk about, I love gathering natural dye stuffs. I'm lucky I live, I've always lived very rurally. I lived on the Adirondack Mountains, where I spent years learning the plants that can give me color there. I'm now 10 years into living in New Mexico, and it was hard when I moved here, but I jumped in, started exploring, learning the plants, and actually with the friend we made a little booklet on the local color of the Gila region where I live. So you can see it's really a passion of mine to be gathering. But we will talk once again, best practices there, ethical concerns. I just was able to find this lovely mountain mahogany bark, but it's root bark. So it's not something that I'd want to just dig up plants and get their root bark. This, I happened to be, someone was constructing a new home site, and I happened to see that bright reddish brown. So I went to talk to them. It was already laying on the ground. They were pretty curious as to what I wanted this for. So I got to do a little spiel on natural dyeing and how important it is. It's color we've been living with for thousands of years. So we'll talk about a gathering a bit, but also for people, there's many places you can get, if you live in a more urban area, we'll talk about how you could do some gathering there, or just collecting in your kitchen. I mean, really, onion skins are amazing dye. So we'll explore these. These tend to give very soft, neutral colors, which is the basis of what I usually start with. But then we'll jump into the dyes of antiquity, the indigo, which is just so important for dyers. It's an amazing dye, but it does work in a totally different way. We will have an indigo vat going, and we can explore what you can do with this amazing dye. And we'll probably also work with the reds. I work with both the cochineal, which are insects, and we'll be cooking them up along with madder root, which I love. And those are more for those really warm colors. And from there, we'll jump into over dyeing, because what I do a lot is taking these more muted colors, dipping them in. So many local plants will give you a variety of yellows. If you dip them into indigo, you get just so many greens. You just can't even believe the amount of greens you can get. And then also the yellows, once again, once we dive into the cochineal and madder root, you can get so many of the warm colors. So we'll be having fun.
I think it's great, Donna, that you're going to do the over dye, because I think people get a little intimidated with over dyeing. I think they are afraid they're going to make a mess. So that's wonderful. It's going to be in your class. Yeah, just because this intro class is really like, let's have fun. It is so fun to make your own color. And there's a few hard and fast rules, but after that, it's akin to how I make soup. I see what I have around me. They talk to each other, and we put them together, and we'll talk about loving what you get. Well, thank you so much for being on, Donna. This is great. And again, this is on Thursday. It's a one-day workshop. It's an introduction, so no skills or previous experience required. Also, just to let you know, Donna was on Textiles and Tea a year ago. So if you want to learn more about Donna and what she does, go check that out also. So again, Thursday, July the 11th, a one-day class. Thanks, Donna.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Sue Helmken. Sue is doing a Color Me Confident. It's a 3-hour seminar. It's on Friday, July 12th. Hi, Sue.
Hello. Thank you, everyone, for being with us today. I am very excited to be doing this class. I am asked so often, why aren't these colors working? Or I love this pattern, but those colors aren't me. And I've found that basic color theory doesn't really address a lot of the questions we have as textile artists. If you see two skeins of yarn side by side, they may look lovely, and then you start blending them in the pattern, and it's like, what happened? So my approach is to talk about using color with pattern to be able to create just the effect we want. I'm going to do some screen sharing. Let's see. Hold on just a moment. There we are.
Now, your class is a beginner class also, right?
Yes, it is for basic beginning. This is some samples that I have. I'm going to have a lot of samples there, but to keep within the time frame right now, I'm mostly doing a PowerPoint type presentation. But these are samples of all one pattern with just numerous different colors. And we'll be talking about what do you do to get a strong contrast? What if you want a softer contrast? One of the factors we'll be looking at is what type of pattern do you have? A bold pattern has a lot of freedom, but it can also become very stark and jarring, whereas a finer pattern, such as the top right, you have to be very careful or you lose the pattern in the coloring. You can see how having in the middle row with the blues and black, that's a low contrast, and that can give you a more subtle pattern, or the medium contrast on the next row. If you look at this fine pattern, it's very clear in the top right with the black and white. But if you go to the monochrome on the bottom left, you can let the pattern come out in some areas, recede in others. You can start adding more colors as I did in the center, but there also comes a point down on the bottom right where you've got a little too much color going on and you lose your pattern. With this bolder pattern, you can see that this coming at you, walking down the street, you'd see the pattern a mile away. We don't always want that. If you go with the monochromes on the bottom left, you start seeing a little more interest. But being a simpler pattern, you can start adding more and more color to it to really be able to play with it and make it come alive. I like to think of not so much warm and cool colors, but spring and summer colors versus winter and fall. Turquoise and fuchsia and bright yellow are a blue, red, yellow, but the darker blue, darker red, and golder yellows are also blue, red, yellow. And how do you mix those to get the colors you want? Do you want a bright green? Do you want a more olivey looking green in your pattern? Which colors you choose to use in those will make a big difference for it. You also want to talk about the proportions of colors. In this one on the left-hand side, the colors are pretty much equally balanced, and it makes an interesting cloth, but it often helps to have a background color and a secondary color and then an accent. You can see in the top center, the yellow is a light color, and those colors want to come out and really dominate the pattern. Whereas on the top right, the blue dominates, but it's a recessive color, so it lets the other colors pop a bit. You can see the same thing on the bottom row. There we go. Sometimes your color is your pattern. And with this, on the top left, the striping is very plain and simple, but you can see from the other samples, if you muddy the edges a bit on the bottom left, maybe do color A, then color B, then color A again, you can soften those edges, or you can make them much darker. On the top right, if you start adding an accent color along those, and depending on how vibrant you want the pattern to be, you can start changing colors within the stripes. There's a multitude of things you can do with that coloring pattern. One of the main things we have in this is that we can use fine yarns, thick yarns, matte yarns, shiny yarns, and they all affect the color. This sample represents using a very fine yarn in the background, and it's almost the same as underpainting a canvas when you're painting. Up close, you might see those little spots, but when you stand back, it just tends to give a subtle color change to the overall picture. So those are all some of the things that we're going to be addressing in the class. And again, I'm going to have a multitude of different samples for people to use. We'll also be doing some little exercises, working with colors, doing some color wrapping and things to let you see how one subtle color change might make all the difference in the world to the piece you're doing. And I highly encourage people to bring samples of things they like or don't like. If you see a picture with colors you like, we'll talk about how to interpret that effectively in a pattern. So,
well, Sue, I think this is a great way to learn more about color rather than just showing pictures and approaching it from a structure point of view. This sounds fascinating. Thank you so much.
Sure. And hopefully this will give you an idea when you go down to all those wonderful vendors, you'll have a better idea of which colors to pick.
There you go. I was also thinking this is going to make you make a better cloth for the fashion show that you'll enter next Convergence. Now, again, this is Sue Helmken. It's a 3-hour seminar. It's on Friday, July 12th. Thanks, Sue.
Thank you so very much.
Next up, Christine Miller, Weaving with Wire, Creating Woven Metal Fabric. Now, she's doing a 3-day workshop. It's Monday through Wednesday, July 15th through the 17th. This looks fascinating. Tell us about it, Christine.
Well, thank you, Kathy and HGA, for this fantastic gathering. So those of you who may not know me, I have been weaving for 50 years, but I took a workshop back in the mid-90s, and I took it with Donna Kaplan. She came to the Dallas Handweavers Guild for a 3-day workshop, and she instantly and profoundly changed my life. It was crazy, but after that workshop, I just started weaving with wire nonstop for the next 20 years, and now have been weaving with wire for 30 years. So my class, Weaving with Wire, is a 3-day workshop, and I'm going to pull up my screen here because I also have an online teaching studio, and for the people who sign up at Convergence to take this workshop, I will enroll them in my online self-paced course, which means that they will have permanent access to reviewing that information after they leave the conference, which I think is going to be really, really helpful. So if you want to go look at just a little deeper dive about my course, you can go to christinekmillercourses.com and click on the Weaving with Wire. But what we do in the 3-day class is we make a 3-yard warp out of wire and we beam it onto the loom, and we start weaving with a variety of weft materials, and it can be traditional materials, it can be experimental materials. I mean, this is what is so exciting about taking this course, is it will it'll take your weaving to a whole new little stratosphere, Kathy. I mean, it's just like so exciting. We will weave off the 3 yards during the workshop, and then the last day of the workshop, we actually begin a hands-on exploration of what you can do with the woven metal. And so the 3-yard warp is actually nice. It's not super long, but it's long enough that you will come away with a good bit of material that you can play with. And I think what's kind of fun and exciting is that the woven metal fabric can be used for so many different applications. In the beginning, you start with jewelry. The warps that we make in the workshop will be no wider than 1 inch. That's the maximum for the beginner. I call it the foundation project. And but in that, the jewelry that you see in the center image there is all fashioned out of 1 inch wide woven metal, because the material is really a great scale for the body. You can also use this material to make sculpture. You can use it as a mixed media material. You can use it as, you could make hat bands. You could add trims on a bag. You can do all sorts of other applications with the woven metal. And I've also made vessels and basketry as well. You can see some reviews on my site. And actually, if you go here, I've opened up a little bit of the curriculum so that you can see what supplies you would need and just find out a little bit more about me as well. So I'm excited to offer this and just take people into a new land.
So how much experience do you need for this class?
You know what? I say intermediate to advanced, but actually if someone is beginning but understands how a loom operates, I have had new weavers take this course very successfully. So you don't have to be, have a ton of experience. I just want the weaver to understand how to operate their equipment. We use either a 4 or 8 shaft table or floor loom, little portable. I've even had students put it on like a little structo loom, or, a wolf pup or any kind of table loom that they have.
I know everybody always asks this, and you always have to reassure them, wire will not hurt your loom, right?
That is absolutely correct. I have woven literally hundreds and hundreds of yards of woven metal on my loom. We do protect the beams, just as a little extra step of safety. But if you forget to protect your beam once, it's not going to just cut into the beam of the loom.
All right. This sounds like a nice challenge and something new and different. Thank you so much, Christine. Again, this is a 3-day workshop. It's Monday through Wednesday. It's July 15th through the 17th. Thank you, Christine.
Thanks, Kathy.
Next up, we have Barbara Setsu Pickett. Barbara is teaching a 1-day workshop on hand woven book covers. This is on Sunday, July 14th. Hey, Barbara.
Hello. Hello. Donna just finished, Donna Kaplan just finished weaving velvet on the loom at the Foundation Lisio in Florence, Italy with me. And it's wonderful to hear her prompting this Christine's journey.
Donna told me about that, Barbara. That's
really?
Yeah, she did. We talked. So that's a great, fun little connection here.
Oh, she did a fantastic job, as you would surmise. Yeah. Okay. Well, I have a PowerPoint, and if I can see if it works. Did I do that? Share?
Yeah. Can you do that?
I don't know.
Do you know how to share?
I have share screen.
There you go.
And desktop 1, is that it? I don't know what this is. How do I get to my...
Can you see the screen that you want to share?
Well, it's in the background.
Yeah, you need to click on that.
Oh.
Select that as the screen to show.
Okay, let's see if I can get to it. Does it happen now for you?
Barbara, where you see the menu where it says the green button share screen, click on that green button.
Yeah, I did that.
It'll pull a pop-up, and then you want to select what you want to share. You should have your PowerPoint.
Okay, let's see if I can get that to it. Oh dear. Sorry. I am not doing it anyway. No, I'm not doing it.
Is there a screen 1, screen 2 or something?
There's desktop 1, whiteboard. Does that sound?
Try that. Do you see advanced or more options?
Yeah, there's advanced.
Click on that.
Okay. Slides as virtual background.
Are you on a Mac?
Yes.
Okay, Macs are difficult. So go ahead and try doing your desktop. That should share your screen.
I don't know how to do that. Let's see. Portion of screen, audio, video, content. Oh my God.
Do portion of screen.
Let's see, maybe I should go back to basic.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, desktop 1.
Yes, go ahead and select that and then share.
And share. Open system preference. Is that it?
It's probably because you're on a Mac. You may have to allow your
to share. Do you see it now?
You do not.
Okay. I have it on my screen. Do you have it on yours?
No.
Did you hit the share button?
I did, but maybe I'll exit here. And then how do I get back to the Zoom?
You're there.
You're on the Zoom.
Okay, then don't I have a share that comes up?
Let's do this. I have an idea. Why don't you email that to me, and we will go ahead and go to our next presenter and move you.
Okay, wait a minute. Here's the shared screen.
Okay.
And desktop 1.
Mm-hmm.
Share.
Yes.
Open system preference.
That is a Mac thing because you have to allow for your Mac to share.
Is it working now?
No. So Barbara, if you can email.
So I should email it to who?
Email it to executive director at weavespindye.org.
Okay.
I'll put it in the chat. And then we're going to go ahead and
to waste your time.
We're going to have Marcia go next, and then we'll come back to you.
Okay.
Next up, we've got Marcia Weiss. Marcia's going to do double weave drafting. It's a 3-hour seminar. It is Saturday on July 13th. Hey, Marcia.
Marcia, if you can unmute yourself.
I was so excited about sharing my screen, I forgot about unmuting. All right, so let me go back to share my screen. Here we go. All right, slideshow from the beginning. All right, so I am hoping you're seeing my double weave drafting slide.
We are.
Brilliant. All right. And a comment to Barbara, we all have technology issues, and I've just actually illustrated that. So, okay. So this is a 3-hour seminar that I'm doing on Saturday the 13th in Wichita. Please, everybody come to Convergence. It's always remarkably joyful. So this is for people who either have some experience with double weave or who have none and want to learn about it. So I learned about double weave when I was an undergrad, which is more decades ago than I actually want to confess to this group. So some details. In the process of this 3 hours, we'll learn the 5 simple steps to drafting double cloth weaves. And when you know these 5 steps, you can really do anything you want in multiple layer fabrics. Super exciting. Double weave is one of my very happy places. So we will walk through the process of how to create weaves, treadling and tie up, threading diagrams for all of these different structures. We'll look at vertical tubes, horizontal tubes. There's a lot of structural reasons why you might want to make a multi-layer fabric or a double weave fabric. We can make a fabric that's double width. If you've wanted to make something on your loom, but your loom isn't wide enough, this is a great way to make a fabric twice as wide as your loom permits. We'll learn about how to make checkerboards, and they could be stuffed or unstuffed. We'll learn about pockets. We'll learn how to make 2 single layers of fabric, and also how one would combine double weave and single cloth into one fabric. And then one of my other super happy places is pleats. I love making pleats, and you can see some here on the slide. So I've got some images of some of the kinds of textiles that we'll be doing. So this is a drafting workshop. All you need is graph paper and a highlighter or 2 colors of highlighters and a pen or pencil. That's truly all you need. I will be giving you a booklet that walks you through all these steps, that has step-by-step explanations, has diagrams, has images of fabrics. So we'll learn how to make tubular fabrics, how to draft vertical tubes. So again, it's what's the weave, what's the treadling, what's the tie-up. How to make horizontal tubes. I want you to feel comfortable going home and being able to do these things on your equipment. How to make fabric that's double width. And certainly with double weave, it doesn't all have to be the exact same weight. Here you can see in this image that I'm working with 2 very different weights of fabric in my double width. We'll learn about checkerboards, pockets. So on the left are double cloth pockets set into a single cloth fabric. In the middle are, actually the middle slide is the same thing. It's double cloth pockets in a single cloth fabric. And the right is all double cloth. And I was just talking about this, double weave and single cloth in one fabric. It's funny, what I find is with students, once they get really comfortable with double weave, they kind of forget how to make single cloth. I know, thank you for chuckling, Kathy.
True though, you get so wrapped up in it, it's like, oh, wait a minute, I just want one.
And pleats, I love pleats. So you can see 2 examples of pleats on the sides, and in the center is one that was on my loom fairly recently. So thank you. I would love to see you in Wichita. Here's my Instagram handle and my email. Feel free to reach out. I'm very happy to chat.
If I may say this, and you can smack me at Convergence later if I shouldn't have, but there are more than one ways to do double cloth. And I have heard that the way you teach it is just lovely. That people said that they've never understood double weave and they got into your class and it just clicked. Now, I know everybody learns differently, but I just want to say kudos to you because I've heard that about your lovely class. So how much experience should someone have? Like, you know how to make plain weave, you know how to do twill. Is that enough or should there be something else under your belt?
That's enough. If you can do some basic single cloth weaves, whether it's plain weave or twill or a, 4-shaft crowfoot satin or a basket weave, if you understand those, you can do this. You don't need more. You don't need more knowledge. I'm happy to teach you. And what I love is in the class, you can see those light bulb moments where people get it. Yeah, it's my great joy to share this with people.
And there is a materials fee for your class?
The materials fee is $5, and that covers the booklet that you'll get, which walks you through all of the steps. And typically there's a couple of goodies in the booklet, and I'm just going to leave it at that. There's always a couple of surprises. So,
now, is this a class where I need a computer to do drafting?
No computer. Graph paper and 1 or 2 highlighters and a pen or a pencil. I would suggest pencil if you're new to double weave. But no, you don't.
Saying I'm going to make a mistake? Wow.
You know what? We all learn at different paces, right?
Right.
And what I know from teaching at every level in which I teach is that we all want to be experts the first time, and we all enter classes a little bit anxious because what if everyone else gets this and I don't get this?
Oh, I know. They're so intimidating. Yeah.
And the reality is we're all going to get there together, and that's the joy. There'll be lots of fabrics to look at, lots of things to play with. Yeah, so I hope to see you in Wichita. I also want to do a quick shout out that in the HGA magazine that has the conference booklet, there's also a really wonderful article that was shared from someone who shared their tips on being a first timer at Convergence and some tips to get the most out of the experience. It was a brilliant article. And I encourage everyone, if you haven't read that yet in ss&D, please do so. It's a great article.
Well, thank you. One thing I like about a class of this, that just is a sit down and think class, is that I feel like I get so caught up of wanting to get on the loom that I don't listen and I don't learn to what's being taught to me so I can get on the loom. I think this class would be good for my little ADD brain of sit, learn, then go do. So I encourage you all to check it out. It's Double Weave Drafting. It's a 3-hour seminar. It is Saturday in the morning on July 13th. Thank you so much, Marcia. As always, lovely to see you.
Thanks, Kathy.
We'll see you in the summer. I don't think we were able to get a hold of Barbara. So what we'll probably do is reschedule her and see if we can help her with her PowerPoint and get it up and running. So watch for her if you really want to know about this book class, which looks lovely. Keep an eye on our schedule and we will let you know when she is coming back and we'll get her set up. So remember, Convergence is, registration is open. It opened Monday. So jump on it. If you know what class you want to take, you're not sure yet, keep watching these programs. You can always add a class. If you know you want to take that one and this one, but you're not sure about these other ones, come watch the program and you can always add a class. We are excited. We're going to be in Wichita, July 11th through the 17th. You can see the booklet online. You can download the PDF. You should have gotten it in the mail if you're a member. And registration is now open. We appreciate you watching today, and we look forward to seeing you in Wichita.